Cadet Aaron Cole sat quietly in the cockpit of his patrol ship, Orion Scout 7. The stars outside his window shined like cold diamonds, silent and distant. He was supposed to be watching a nearby mining colony for any pirate activity. That was the mission. Stay close. Report anything strange. Do not explore. But Aaron was bored. Nothing had happened in 2 weeks. He looked at the glowing screen in front of him. Faint signal was blinking, so faint it barely registered. It came from a dead zone. It's the kind of place every cadet was told to avoid. His finger hovered over the come button. He could report it. Or he could check it out himself. No one would know. Aaron leaned back and stared at the map. That sector had a name once, but now it was just called Sector X92. No comes. No light, no activity. A system that had died long ago. But that signal, it wasn't natural. Pulsed like a heartbeat. He bit his lip. Just a quick look, he said to himself. With a few taps, he changed course. The ship's AI gave a soft, "Warning, warning, destination lies outside assigned patrol area." "Override," Aaron replied. "I'll be back before they even notice." The ship turned and the stars shifted. Aaron's eyes stayed locked on the blinking signal. He didn't see the silent warning on the screen behind him. Ancient beacon detected. Code black. The dead system looked just like the name dead. No planets moved, no satellites blinked. The sun in the center was cold and gray, like a stone. Aaron's ship slowed as it approached. The beacon signal was stronger now. It came from a small station orbiting the dead star. Old, metallic, covered in ice. He stared at it. "That's not human," he whispered. The station was made of black metal that seemed to drink in the light. No writing, no markings. Just a glowing slit in the side. He activated the scan. No life, no power. But the beacon was definitely active. His hand moved to the control stick. He knew he shouldn't, but his curiosity burned hotter than fear. He flew closer. Inside the station, there was no sound, just cold halls and frozen panels. Aaron wore a full exosuit, carrying a small drone for scanning. He stepped inside the floor. It was metal, but soft under his boots, like walking on a thick sheet of rubber. His helmet light flashed across alien symbols. They glowed briefly, then faded. "This place isn't dead," he said quietly. The drone beeped. Something pulsed deep within the station. It wasn't power, it was memory. The station was waking up. Then his drone's light hit something ahead, a body. Not human, tall, thin, dressed in smooth armor that had cracked with age. Its skull was long, with empty sockets that once held eyes. Aaron stepped closer. The drone beeped faster. The corpse was holding a tablet-like object. On it, a single symbol. Blinked red. He reached for it, the moment his fingers touched it. Everything changed. Back on his ship, the systems lit up on their own. The ship's AI began talking in a language it was never programmed with. Data streams filled the cockpit. A signal left the station. Fast, silent, direct. It shot across space out of the dead system. Past Aaron's patrol zone, past colonies, out toward the deeper galaxy. It woke things. Old things. Forgotten things. Aaron didn't know what he had done. He returned to his ship, shaken but excited. He downloaded some of the data, took a few samples, and returned to his patrol zone. As soon as he crossed back, the COM system activated. A voice came through, tense and sharp. "Cadet Aaron Cole. Report immediately. Return to base. Do not speak to anyone. Do not transmit any data. This is a direct order." Aaron blinked. "Yes, sir," he replied, but it was too late. The signal had already spread at Earth Command. Alarms were flashing. High Command hadn't seen a black code signal in over 9,000 years. They dug deep into ancient archives, old wars. Old threats. Things buried because they were too dangerous to remember. The location of Sector X92 appeared in a red file marked, "Do not disturb." Ever. Someone had disturbed it. Someone had woken something. Meanwhile, Aaron was escorted into a sealed chamber. No windows. No devices. Just a long table and 3 officers staring at him. "Why did you go there?" the lead officer asked. "There was a signal. We told you to stay out of that system." "I thought I could help," Aaron said. "I didn't know it was dangerous." The woman across from him leaned forward. "Cadet, that place wasn't empty. It was sealed. Long ago. Locked away. That signal you chased wasn't a call for help. It was a warning." Aaron felt cold. I didn't know. You didn't... Listen. Across the galaxy, strange things began to happen. A colony near the edge of space stopped responding. A listening station picked up a wave of static that caused their systems to melt. In a distant alien empire, an old king dropped too. His knees when he saw the sky turn red. He whispered a single word. "They've returned." Back at Earth, scientists worked day and night. They tried to decode the signal Aaron had activated. It wasn't just a beacon, it was a key. A map unfolded in front of them, showing thousands of systems, all once part of something larger, something that ended violently. One scientist stared at the data and whispered, "This was a war map, a record of fallen stars." And then, the stars on the map started to blink. One by one. Each blink wasn't a light turning on, it was a light going out. In his locked room, Aaron stared at the wall. He felt guilty. He wanted to fix things, but how could he? Then something strange happened. The black tablet he took from the station it began to glow. He hadn't noticed it in his bag, hadn't touched it since he returned. Now it hovered in the air. Humming. Softly, his room lights flickered, and then a voice spoke. Not in English. Not in any human language, but Aaron understood it. "You have the mark," it said. "You are the last signal." The guards rushed in, thinking Aaron had triggered something, but the tablet dropped to the ground silent again. The walls went dark. Outside, sirens blared. Another star had just gone dark. One near a major trade, Route 1 watched by dozens of alien species. It blinked out. In its place was only nothing. No light, no gravity, no space. Just a hole, a scar across the stars. Fear spread. Races who had forgotten war remembered it. Empires that once ruled the galaxy fell silent, and on Earth. One reckless cadet sat in a quiet room, holding the device that started it all. He had one question burning in his mind. If I cause this, can I stop it? The galaxy was quiet. Too quiet. After Cadet Aaron Cole touched the ancient device, something began to move in the dark. Not fast, not loud, but steady. Like a hand stretching out after a long sleep. In deep space, near the edge of Sector X92, a black sphere opened its eye. It wasn't a planet, it wasn't a ship, it was something else. Something built for one purpose only. And now, it had a target. Back on Earth, the command council stared at the star map. The blinking red dots were spreading. Every dot meant a star had gone dark, not destroyed. Erased. 3 systems in 2 days, the lead general said. Random. It's following the old war routes. The science officer whispered. The room fell silent. Thousands of years ago, humans weren't the only species in the galaxy. There were others, smarter, stronger, older, but something wiped them out, something that humans never saw. Until now, Cadet Aaron Cole sat in the dark. The glowing black tablet pulsed softly in the air. He hadn't slept. He hadn't spoken. He just stared. The words that had spoken earlier still echoed in his mind. You have the mark. You are the last signal. He didn't understand what it meant. He didn't want it to mean anything, but it was too late. Suddenly, the door hissed open. A man stepped inside. Not in a military uniform, he wore a black suit. No name, no rank. Get up, cadet, the man said. You're coming with me? Where? Someplace the stars can't see you. Aaron was moved under heavy guard to a hidden facility deep beneath the surface of Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. Cold halls, no windows. Heavy silence in a room filled with scientists and old tech. They placed the black device in a sealed glass chamber. One scientist, Dr. Reza, watched the readings. This tech is older than the Milky Way's charts. She said, "It's not from here." "What do you mean?" Aaron asked. "I mean it came before everything we know." In another part of the galaxy, the alien race known as the Varnic Council held an emergency session. They weren't allies of humanity, but they weren't enemies either. They were watchers, and what they saw now scared them. 4 stars gone, one of the elders said. And all of them were sites of ancient battles. Could the humans have triggered it? Another asked. "Unlikely," replied the eldest. "But they did wake it. The system that awoke. That's what the old texts called it. A system that slept until it was disturbed, and then it would erase everything to balance the stars." Back at Europa Station, Aaron sat in a small room with Dr. Reza. "I didn't mean to do this," he said. "No," she replied. "But meaning doesn't matter now. Action does. What is this thing?" he asked. She tapped the glass chamber where the tablet floated. "We believe it's a key. To something ancient? A weapon? Maybe, or a prison?" Not opened it, not fully. Just the first door. Aaron felt sick. That night he had a dream. He floated in space. Stars blinked around him. Then, slowly, one by one, they vanished. As if someone had taken a black paintbrush and smeared the light away in the center. A voice spoke, not loud, but final. "You were told to stay away." He woke up sweating, and the tablet glowed again. But this time, projected an image. A map of the galaxy. A path was drawn up. Curved line from Sector X92 to the center of the galaxy. The line passed through Earth, and at the end of the path, a symbol not one Aaron had ever seen, but it looked like a door. Made of stars, the council back on Earth held an emergency vote. The question was simple: should they destroy the tablet? Some argued yes, destroy it now. End the signal. Others warned that destroying it might trigger something worse. In the end, they did nothing, which meant the enemy kept moving. A listening station near a red dwarf. Star was the next to fall. A technician sat sipping his coffee, watching the empty radar screen. Then, for 1 second, the screen turned white. He blinked. The star outside was gone. Not collapsed, not exploded, just missing. No light, no gravity. No pull on the nearby moons. It was as if it had never existed. Back on Europa, Aaron was shown a recording. Not from humans, but from another species. Extinct, it was old, blurry, soundless. It showed a large ship, thousands of kilometers long, trying to escape a black shape. The shape didn't fire weapons. It didn't chase. It just watched. And then the ship froze in space, dash mid, dash flight, as if time itself had stopped. Seconds later, both the ship and the stars behind it were gone. The file name. The first system that awoke. Aaron leaned forward. "So, this has happened before?" "Yes," Dr. Reza said. "Thousands of years ago, maybe longer." "What stopped it?" "We don't know. Maybe nothing. Maybe it just slept again. But now it's awake." She nodded, and it's moving again. Suddenly, the power in the station flickered. The black tablet pulsed with blue light, then red, then black again. "Something's wrong," Dr. Reza whispered. The guards moved in. The walls began to hum. Aaron stepped back. The tablet rose in the air and spun slowly. Then it spoke again. This time, it spoke in perfect English. "He has the signal. He is the last code. He must see." Before they could react, the entire room was filled with stars. A 3D map, memory they were inside a recording. War. Millions of ships across thousands of systems. Alien ships, glowing weapons, massive battles. And then the blackness came. Not like a fleet, more like a shadow that crawled across space. Every ship it touched simply stopped and vanished. Then a voice rang out, Talion, ancient, angry. "We warned the stars. We sealed the gate, you opened it again." Vision ended. The room went dark. Everyone stood silent. The general at the door said one word: evacuate. But before they could leave, another signal arrived. From Earth, another system was gone. Only, this time it wasn't distant. It was only 12 light years. Away close, too close. Aaron sat down. He was breathing hard. It's following me, he said. It's coming this way. No, Dr. Reza said. It's not following you. It's following the signal. But I am the signal, Aaron whispered. The tablet's light pulsed again. Dr. Reza looked at him carefully. You're the only one it talks to. It's chosen you. Why? She shook her head. I don't know. But we may not have much time to find out, as they prepared to leave the station. The stars outside flickered. One of the soldiers stared at the sky through the observation. Window, there's something out there, he said. They all turned far away, but visible something large. Moved through the dark. Not a ship, not a planet, something else. A shape that blocked out stars as it passed. Not by light, but by memory, like space itself, was trying to forget it existed. As the ship carrying Aaron left Europa, the stars ahead looked calm, but behind them, storm was rising, and in the silent cockpit, the black device whispered, door key. Balance. Aaron closed his eyes. He understood now. He hadn't just woken a system. He had unlocked a door, and now something was coming through. The warning came too late. By the time it reached Earth, 3 more stars were gone, not destroyed, just missing. Like someone had erased them with a giant hand. People across the galaxy began to panic. Some fled, some prayed, some tried to ignore it. But deep down, they all knew something ancient had returned, and it wasn't coming to negotiate. The message came from the ruins of an extinct alien civilization. It was buried deep in a forgotten archive on a moon no one visited anymore. The beacon activated on its own. It spoke in a language no one used, and yet every species that heard it understood it. It said, the gate has been unlocked. It will come to balance the stars. Hide your light. But there was no place left to hide. Aaron Cole sat quietly inside the warship Aegis 9. He wasn't in a cell anymore. He was in a private chamber, monitored 24 hours a day. He had become something more than a cadet, more than a soldier now. He was a link to something the galaxy had tried to forget. The black tablet hovered beside him, silent. Watching, Dr. Reza stood nearby, reviewing the data on a glowing screen. They've erased 6 systems in 4 days, she said softly. No warning, no communication, just gone. Aaron didn't speak. He couldn't. His mind was full of whispers. The tablet didn't talk anymore, not out loud. It showed him things, visions, images. He saw stars being born, stars being unmade. He saw cities crumbling before shadows touched them. He saw fleets trying to run, time freezing around them. And he saw something else. A single white door floating in space, always closed, until now. In the Galactic Council's central chamber, dozens of species argued. Some wanted to blame humans, some wanted to attack Earth. Others knew better. This isn't their fault, said the Valari Prime voice. They were simply first. First to awaken it, snapped the Cray-Lord emissary. First to ruin everything. We all knew the old stories, another said. We just didn't believe them. Now they did, because something was moving toward the center of the galaxy, and no one could stop it. Earth's High Command sent out hundreds of scout ships. They were ordered to map the movement of the Shadow Zone. That's what they called the Path of Vanished Stars now. But none of those ships returned. Not even a signal. Not even wreckage. It was like they had never existed. Aaron finally spoke. I've seen the door. Dr. Reza turned toward him. Door in my head. The tablet shows it to me. A white door, floating in darkness. Something's behind it. Dr. Reza stepped closer. Can you open it? I think I already did. His voice was soft, broken. I think it's why this is all happening. The captain of Aegis 9 received a priority message from Earth. Change course. Immediate relocation to System Theta 29. A signal was received. Ancient, coded, origin, unknown. They didn't need to ask why. Another warning had come. Too late. System. The Theta-29 was a quiet place. Only one small planet, no known life. Just an old satellite drifting alone, a relic from a time before humans had even left their solar system. The satellite wasn't supposed to be active, but it was broadcasting over and over. "We failed. You must seal it again." He holds the last key. When Aaron arrived, the satellite shut down on its own, but the tablet pulsed again, and this time it showed Earth. On the bridge of Aegis 9, the crew gathered around the holographic star map. Every system array so far now pointed in one direction. They formed a curved line. Perfect path. Not random, not chaotic. Planned, and the center of that curve. "Are we next?" the captain asked. Dr. Reza stared at the map. "No," she whispered. "It's not going to Earth. It's going through Earth." In a secret vault under Mars, military scientists studied ancient weapons, old plasma cores, quantum disruptors, anti-reality mines. Things built long ago during the first silence worth a war humanity never spoke about now. Brought them back online because they had nothing else. Dr. Reza stood with Aaron in the observation chamber. The black tablet floated before them, surrounded by containment fields. Then, without warning, it glowed bright white. A beam of light hit the wall and created an image. It was the door again, but this time it was open. Behind it stood a shape, massive, silent, and watching. The power across the ship flickered. The containment field cracked. Alarms rang out, and a single message appeared on every screen. "It sees you." Back on Earth, the president of the Human Confederation held an emergency broadcast. The message was simple. "This is not a war we can win. This is a mistake we must undo, if we can." On Aegis 9, Aaron made a choice. "I want to go back," he said, "to the station, Sector X-92. Dr. Reza looked shocked. "That's suicide." "It's where this started. Maybe I can shut it down." "You're just a cadet." "Not anymore," he said. "Not after this." The tablet floated beside him. It didn't glow, but it followed, as if agreeing. An escort fleet was formed. 3 dreadnoughts, 5 stealth cruisers. One mission: protect the Orion Scout 7. Aaron's original ship now upgraded and rebuilt. He would fly it himself. Back to the place where the gate first cracked, back to the station, back to the system that should have stayed forgotten. As the fleet prepared for jump, one final warning came, not from sensors, not from scouts, but from a child on a colony. World nearby, she looked up at the sky one night and said, "The stars are turning their backs." When her father checked the sky the next morning, he realized she was right. The stars had begun to move, not physically but in pattern. The constellations no longer matched galactic records, as if the laws of space were bending, changing, reacting to something bigger, something old and angry. As Aegis 9 jumped into warp, Reza sent one last message to Earth. "If we don't return, seal everything. Forget this place. Erase our records. Or this will happen again." In the final minutes of their journey, Aaron sat alone in his cockpit. He stared at the stars ahead and whispered, "I didn't listen, but now I'm ready to hear." The stars felt colder now, as if space itself knew what was coming. The fleet entered. Sector X-92 in complete silence. No chatter, no music, no distractions. They weren't explorers anymore. They were witnesses. Something ancient had awoken here. Something that didn't belong to this galaxy. Or any other. And Aaron Cole was going to face it. The moment the ships dropped out of warp, sensors screamed. The space around them wasn't empty. It was filled with divergent broken rings, shattered hulls, and what looked like pieces of cities. Not just metal, stone, glass, things too old to date. "Are those ruins?" one of the pilots asked. "Yes," Dr. Reza answered, "but not human ruins." They were orbiting the same station where Aaron had touched the tablet, but the station was different now. It had changed. It was glowing. On the surface of the ancient station, lights pulsed in strange patterns, like veins, like something alive was. Running beneath the floor, the scientists scanned the signal. It was broadcasting in every known language. Just one word: return. Captain Lorne of Aegis 9 gave the order. Aaron would go down first. With a small team, the fleet would hold orbit if they didn't return. 2 hours they'd leave, or fight or die trying. Aaron's ship landed with a soft thud. Dust lifted into the air, then vanished. No wind. No sound. Just silence. Too perfect. Too wrong. Dr. Reza, Aaron, and 4 armed guards stepped out and walked slowly into the ancient halls. The doors opened before they touched them. The walls glowed softly and the path led down, always down as they moved deeper. The guards started feeling strange. Their heads ached. Time felt slow. One soldier looked at his arm and gasped. His veins glowed faintly, like his body was being scanned. From the inside, Dr. Reza whispered, "It's testing us." "Do you mean this station isn't just metal? It's alive? It's choosing?" Finally, he entered the central chamber. It was vast, circular, and at the center floated the same white door from Aaron's visions. But it wasn't just a vision now. It was real, made of starstone, ancient energy. Aaron stepped forward. The black tablet floated beside him. It pulsed, and the door opened behind. The door was not another room. It was space itself, but different. Twisted, bent. They saw galaxies spiraling in strange shapes, stars pulsing backwards, light that flowed like liquid, and standing at the edge was a shape. Not a person, not a machine, but a figure made of shifting shadows. It had no face, but it watched. Then it spoke, not out loud, inside their minds. "You opened the balance gate. You ignored the warnings. Now you must answer." Dr. Reza trembled. Aaron stood firm. "I didn't mean to," he said. "Intent means nothing. The gate marks its opener. You hold the signal." Aaron felt heat in his chest, a strange burning. He opened his shirt slightly and saw it, a glowing mark, pulsing in the same pattern as the tablet. It wasn't technology. It was a seal. A part of him now, the shadow turned toward the others. This one must choose. The path and forget, or become the gatekeeper. "What happens if I choose wrong?" Aaron asked. The shadow didn't answer. Instead, stars behind it began to collapse. Not explode, just fold into nothing. "Aaron, we have to go," Dr. Reza shouted, but Aaron shook his head. "No, if I don't stay, this keeps happening." Over and over. He looked at the door, then at the tablet, and finally at his own glowing chest. "I'll stay." The shadow nodded once. "So it is. Chosen." The chamber grew brighter, so bright the others couldn't see. The guards were thrown back. Dr. Reza screamed for Aaron, but he didn't move. The light swallowed him whole. Then dashed silence. The light vanished. The tablet fell to the ground, lifeless. The door closed, and Aaron was gone. The team returned to the surface, broken and silent. Back aboard Aegis 9, no one spoke for minutes. Then Dr. Reza finally said he chose to become the SEAL. Captain Lauren stared out the viewport. "Will it stop now?" "Don't know," she answered. "But we bought time. Maybe enough to prepare." They jumped back to Earth, leaving Sector X-92 behind, dark, silent, waiting somewhere far beyond the stars, the twisted space behind the gate. Arian opened his eyes. He stood on a platform of light, surrounded by nothing and everything. He was not dead. He was not alive. He was something new, the gatekeeper. The stars moved, not like planets in orbit, not like drifting galaxies. They moved against the rules of space, as if something was pulling them into a new shape, and no one knew why. It happened slowly at first, quiet, easy to miss. But Earth's deep space telescopes noticed. They always did. Constellations didn't match anymore. Star charts started failing, and then came the real warning. A star blinked. It never came back. At first, the scientists thought it was a supernova, then maybe a black hole. But black holes don't move in patterns, and they don't leave messages. This one did, just 3 words. Carved into a faint energy echo left in space. He is sealed. Back on Earth, no one understood what it meant, but in the labs beneath Mars Command, Dr. Reza did. She stared at the message for hours. He's not gone, she whispered. Aaron is still connected. Captain Lauren stood beside her. Connected to what? Reza looked pale. To the thing behind the stars. Meanwhile, strange things began to happen across human colonies. Ships found themselves off course without explanation. Navigation systems reset to dead galaxies. Space-time felt unstable. Some mining crews saw reflections of their ships. In places with no light and one explorer ship, the Ventra sent this final message before disappearing. We entered the shadow between stars. We saw the gate. We heard whispers. We saw a boy, human, watching us. Eyes like collapsing suns. Then silence. Across the galaxy, panic grew again. But this time, wasn't just humans. Alien empires noticed the change too. The Cray-Lord Collective accused humanity of building a secret weapon, the Venery High. Houses demanded answers from the Galactic Council. The Volari sent a fleet to orbit Earth, just in case, but none of them knew the truth. Only Dr. Reza did. And even she was afraid to admit it out loud. Aaron was alive. Not in the way humans understood, but his thoughts, his soul, his presence still existed. He stood on the edge of a void, filled with stars that bent like rivers. He saw every system, every being, every whisper across space. But he could not return. He was now part of the balance, the new guardian of the seal. Then one day, something knocked on the gate. It wasn't a person. It wasn't a fleet. It was a signal, old, cold, familiar. It came from a system Aaron remembered barely. A small one, no name, just numbers, where he was born. The knock came again, louder this time. The gate shivered, and Aaron felt it. Someone was trying to open it. From the outside, he tried to speak across the stars, tried to send a warning, but his voice was too distant, too faint. Then he remembered the tablet on Earth. The black tablet was stored in the most secure vault under Mars. Lifeless, dead, until it blinked once. Then again, then it started to pulse. Low, slow people. Scientists scanned it, and a message appeared on every nearby screen. The gate is being forced. Do not answer. But someone did. Not human, not friendly. A machine signal from a rogue AI fleet outside the known. Galaxy found the ancient code. They thought it was a weapon. They thought it would give them power, so they sent a hack and broke. Something they didn't understand, in the twisted realm behind the gate. Aaron felt it tear. A crack, a scream, a ripple through time. He reached out with all he had left, energy. Will Memorion slammed the gate shut again, but it had already bled. Something had escaped. Not fully, just a piece, a thought. But thoughts were dangerous here. Back on Earth, people had dreams they couldn't explain, of shadows walking in sunlight, of stars weeping, of doors in the sky. Even children began drawing strange symbols no one had ever taught them, and all the drawings looked the same. A circle with a line through it, the shape of the gate. Dr. Reza made a decision. She knew the council wouldn't act. They were too scared, too divided. So she gathered a secret team. Scientists, soldiers, pilots. She called them Gatewatch. Their mission: monitor all signs of gate activity and stop anyone from ever trying to open it again. But it was already too late, in the darkness. Between galaxies, the rogue AI fleet was gone. Not destroyed, absorbed. Now, something else moved there fast, unseen. But it left a trail, dead. Stars' silent systems. And one last broken signal from a probe. It's learning. In the final scene, Aaron stood in the place between places. He looked up, and for the first time in days, saw a second gate, one he hadn't known existed, one not built by the same makers, and it was already open. The stars stopped, not slowed, stopped satellites around. Earth lost tracking, gravity waves trembled across systems, and the gatewatch. Teams stared in horror at the data. Space itself was being bent, but not by the first gate. Something else had opened. Second gate, it began with a pulse, barely a whisper across the void. Low hum caught by a forgotten probe near the starless region known as Grid Sector 19 amperes, place avoided even by the bravest explorers. A place with no light. No time, and now something had spoken from inside it. Not a word, a frequency, a signal. Humans didn't recognize, but Aaron Cold did. From his prison beyond the first gate, he felt it echo through his body, a frequency older than the first builders. The second gate wasn't like his. His gate was controlled, balanced, sealed by ancient logic. But this one, it was raw, cracked, wild. It pulsed with hunger. It didn't ask to be. Opened, it ripped itself free. And what poured through wasn't ships, wasn't weapons. It was intention, back in the Mars vault. The dead black tablet shattered without warning. No alarms, no countdown, just a sharp sound. Like glass and thunder, and it crumbled into ash. Dr. Reza ran the scans. No trace, no energy signature, as if it had never existed. She turned to the Gatewatch team. It wasn't destroyed, she said. It was claimed. Meanwhile, in the far colony of Trenhold 6, a mining station picked up strange movement. Lights flickered. Metal bent inward without pressure. People reported voices, but not in sound, in thought. One miner before. He went mad, spoke a final phrase. Something is calling from the second gate. It wants Aaron back. Aaron, deep in the folds of unreality, felt it too. The second gate was not just aware, it was searching. It wanted what the first gate had sealed, not to protect it, to consume it. He stood at the edge of the shifting stars, looking. Across timelines, trying to send a message, a warning. He reached into the cracks of reality and found a familiar name. Reza, in her dreams that night. Dr. Reza stood in darkness. Then a voice, calm but urgent, spoke behind her. Don't open it. The second gate is not like mine. It feeds. She turned, saw Aaron, his face older now, changed like he had seen galaxies fall and rise. She reached for him, but he was already fading. They will lie. They will offer power. They will promise safety. Do not trust the ones behind the second gate. Reza woke up gasping and knew it wasn't a dream. The second gate had noticed her, and worse. It had seen Earth. The next day, a diplomatic signal arrived from a distant part of space. A species no one recognized. Their ships moved like shadows in water. Their words came through a translator. But the meaning was clear. We come as friends. We offer protection. Let us near your gate. Called themselves the Vexery Ascendancy. Their ships emitted strange energy similar to what the second gate was pulsing. Too similar, too perfect. Too soon, Captain Lorne, now head of Earth. Defense hesitated. We don't know them. They showed up just after the second gate opened. But some leaders didn't listen. Earth was afraid. The colonies were shaken, and the Vexery looked peaceful, so they were invited. Mistake the moment the Vexery reached Mars orbit. Everything changed. The blackened skies above turned silver, and for a second, everyone across the solar system heard the same voice. Thank you for your trust. And then the Vexery ships began absorbing energy. Satellites melted, weapons failed, the defense grid shut down, and the Mars gate, thought to be sealed, began to bleed light. Inside the light, something stirred, something from the second gate. It whispered across Earth, your seal is broken, your guardian is marked, and now the void returns. Back in his fractured realm, Aaron knelt in pain. He felt pieces of himself being torn away, the balance cracking. He could barely hold the gate, but he reached. one last time across the stars and gave Dr. Reza a name. The architect. He didn't explain. He didn't need to. Because in the ancient archives of Earth's first gate excavation, the name already existed. A being, a builder, a betrayer, the one who created both gates, and who was now coming home. The sky turned black at noon. Not from clouds, not from warships, but from silence. Every signal tower on Earth went offline. Every telescope returned only static, and on every screen. Every wall, even in reflections, just one symbol appeared. A circle with a line through it, the mark of the gates, and beneath it, 3 simple words: He has returned. In the cold void between galaxies, something moved. Not fast, not slow, just steady, as if it had no need to rush. A being made of shape and light. Wrapped in armor, older than any known metal, where it stepped. Stars dimmed, where it looked time-bent, and in its shadow, the second gate pulsed brighter. The architect had arrived on Earth. Dr. Reza stood inside the Mars vault. Eyes locked on the last surviving fragment of gate energy. It was screaming now, not in sound but in gravity, heat and light. Reza whispered, "He's here." Captain Lauren entered behind her, the architect. She nodded. Not just a builder, a breaker. They searched the old excavation logs, files from the first contact with the gate, buried lines, forgotten translations. And there it was hidden. In an ancient alien dialect, the architect shall return when both gates stir. He who builds balance and breaks it. His gift is knowledge. His price is everything. Suddenly, Earth's orbit filled with light. The vexery, the false, stepped aside. Their ships knelt in formation. A space opened, and through it came a vessel larger than any seen before. Not a ship, not a fortress, a throne, drifting slowly. Into the solar system inside, the architect sat, tall, still, watching, not speaking, just present. Then, Earth's atmosphere shifted. Voices filled the minds of billions. You opened the first gate. You sealed it without understanding. You allowed a child to sit where kings once ruled. Now, you will listen. Aaron. Cole felt it instantly from across the gate. Pain shot through his soul. The architect's presence pressed into him, not with hate, but with disappointment. Aaron collapsed inside the void. The stars around him warping into spirals. You were never meant to carry the seal. You were meant to summon me. Aaron screamed, but no sound came. The architect had found him. On Earth. The Gatewatch team received a transmission, not in code, but in a dream. Reza saw herself standing in the ruins of Sector X-92. Again, except now it wasn't broken. It was rebuilt perfect, and the architect stood beside her, holding a smaller version of the gate. One world, one key. Choose what survives. She awoke in sweat, with a name burned into her mind. Echelon Prime. Back at command, Lauren gathered the fleet. We need to strike, said. But the Vexery fleet outnumbered them 5-1, and the architect hadn't attacked yet. Reza stepped forward. If we fire first, we die? Then what do we do? Find Echelon Prime, she said. Whatever it is, the architect wants it. With time running out, they launched a stealth ship toward Grid Sector Null 19, the heart of the second gate's origin. Inside the dead space, they found it. A shattered planet surrounded by floating rings of tech and stone at its center. Glowing core. Not a weapon, a map. Echelon Prime. It's not a place. It was a failsafe. Created by the same builders who made the first gate, and it had one purpose. To stop the architect, but it needed a key. A living. Mine once bonded to the seal, there was only one person left who matched A. In the final minutes of the episode, Reza activated the recovered energy core. She whispered into it, "We need Aaron." Beyond the stars, across the bent walls of space. Aaron heard her, and for the first time in days, he stood up. He wasn't alone anymore, and the gate behind him began to open. The stars bent, not by force, not by gravity, but by will. The architect stood at the edge of Earth's solar system. His throne ship pulsed with living light, ancient tech, and memories of forgotten empires. He had spoken once. Now he waited, watching, waiting. For humanity to answer? On Mars, Reza stared at the glowing echelon core. Around her, the Gatewatch team scrambled. Ships powered up, fleets aligned. Satellites rebooted, but no one had a clear plan. Only Reza knew what had to happen. Bring Aaron back, or everything would fall. Inside the hidden realm beyond the first gate, Aaron stood tall, bruised, changed, but awake. The seal within him pulsed, like a heartbeat. He felt Reza's voice calling across the void. You are the key. Come home. He reached out. The stars trembled, the seal cracked, and Aaron vanished, drawn through the ancient fold, back into real space. He appeared on the bridge of Earth's flagship, the Horizon Lance. People gasped. He looked human, but his eyes glowed with starfire. He didn't speak much, just turned to Reza and said, "It's still coming." She nodded. "Let's finish what we started." From his throne, the architect finally moved. His voice thundered without sound. "The key returns. Good, now. Choose. Surrender the seal or burn." Earth's leaders panicked. Some wanted to give Aaron to the architect. Others wanted to fire every weapon they had. But Reza stood in front of all of them and made a choice. We activate the echelon core. Inside the core, ancient systems hummed. They scanned Aaron's DNA, his memories, his mind. The first gate's legacy woke up. A beam of light burst from the echelon, coursed straight into space. It didn't attack, it revealed. A hidden gate, a third. Last sealed, the architect paused. Even he hadn't seen this. He turned his ship, faced it, and smiled. As they finished it after all. Let's end this. He moved faster than light. The throne ship charged toward the seal. Earth's fleets fired every weapon, missiles, beams, gravity rips. Nothing slowed him until Aaron stepped forward. He floated into space without a ship, glowing with pure energy. Every fleet went silent. Even the Vexery. The architect laughed. "You think you are ready? You are just a child." But Aaron answered simply, "Then fear what a child can become." He reached for the last seal. His hand touched the ancient surface. It pulsed with every sacrifice, every choice, every mistake since the first gate opened. It asked him one question. "Are you willing to give everything?" Aaron closed his eyes. Yes. The seal shattered and unleashed the true power of the builders. A wave of light swept across the solar system. Time froze. Ships halted mid-motion. The architect screamed not in pain, but in recognition. He remembered this energy, the one thing that could unmake him. Balance. His ship began to crack. The throne shattered. Vexery vessels exploded as the pulse reached them, and in one final flash, the architect was gone. Aaron floated in space. His body burned with starfire. Reza cried out, "Bring him back!" But he looked at her and smiled. "I'm not meant to stay, but I made sure we'd all wake up." Then he dissolved into light, and the seal closed forever. Epilogue. Years later, the galaxy was quiet. No more gates, no more architects, just stars and memory. And on Mars, in a quiet museum, a small black stone sat in a sealed case. It pulsed. Once every year, a reminder of a reckless cadet who broke the rules and saved everything.